Greetings, everyone. How you doing? This is Black Conscious Nation. We at the Black Conscious Nation desired to bring content that will holistically benefit the Black African diaspora abroad in all the Americas. Guess what? We are here today to bring a topic called the adult child syndrome. By its very definition, adult child syndrome is characterized by an inability to navigate adult decisions and relationships due to long-term impact of childhood trauma. So childhood trauma is many facets of things. First we want to talk about the child. Every parent's job is to raise up a child to be a good, productive citizen in life. Doesn't matter what race you are. Even though we're here, Black diaspora, this every parent really wants this for their child, whether you're white, Indian, Asian, whatever. So this plot here is not just for Black folk or the traumas. See, all human beings go through trauma, not just Black folk. But this area here is where we're talking about us. So trauma to a child, it could be a divorce. It could be a separation, a dad dying, a mama dying. So, sexual abuse, a fire, something traumatic that happens to a child's life that halts their emotions. For instance, if something traumatic happens at 6 years old, now 20 years later, that person is 26 years old, but that trauma that happened at 6 years old, it still resides in their soul. And guess what? They still many times act like that little child, adult child. Now, it's not something they or we chose to do. It's just something we do because that trauma has not been addressed in their life. So guess what? That person should, suggestively, should get some help where they can deal with those traumas in life. But here's the thing about it. Sometimes we don't know what's going on. Many times we go through all life making bad decisions, whether it be relationships, whether it be jobs. I just can't keep a job. I just can't keep a man. I just can't keep a woman. All my children, I can't stay in a holistic, healthy relationship with my family members. We're always having fallen out. And just to be clear, this is not just the Black diaspora. This is a broad the human race. When there's trauma, there's chaos sometimes. So back to us, diaspora. You know, what I'm here today is just to really touch this area to hopefully it triggers somebody to say, let me look at my life. Because we can always want to ascend to a better level, but if we're carrying weights, it's hard to get there carrying weights. So sometimes we got to cut the chain, cut the rope, so the weight fall off us and we can be liberated and free to walk on and fly on. But we can't fly unless we deal with the issue at hand. Now, I want to be clear. Not everybody has these issues, but you know your lifestyle. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Are we happy where we are? Do I have good, healthy, holistic relationships with my spouse, with my children, my coworkers? Do I go to work angry? Am I an angry person all the time? See, there's an anger we're supposed to have. Well, we have anger, but when you're angry all the time, you just can't deal with life without making somebody else's life miserable. There's something wrong. And it's up to the individual to find out what that is. It's up to individuals to make the household a little better by getting some holistic help from themselves. Now, when I first heard this phrase, adult child syndrome, it was back in the 80s when alcohol and drugs addict was really prevalent, the crack era, where kids would be taking care of their parents who are alcoholics and drug addicts, not just Black, all kids in this world, Indian, Asian, all over this world. They had to take care of their parents. When the parents would not go to work because they had a hangover, the job calls the house, the child will pick up the phone, tell the boss, oh, they're on their way. Whatever they teach their child to lie to their boss. Or they come home drunk and throwing up all over the place, the child has to clean up. This child, who could be, for me, with 3 to 12, 16 years old, had to take care of their adult parents, okay? And the child did not have time to grow up. For a good part of their childhood life, they had to care for their alcoholic and drug addict parent. That's one form of trauma. And as I stated, there's death. A dad can die, a mom can die. There's verbal abuse. You'll never be nothing. You'll always be what you are now, nothing. You say that to a child who's 6 years old, they will never be who they should be because you told them what they are at that time. My stepdad who raised me, I'll never forget this. It was a beautiful thing in my life. We went to a baseball game in they called it Carter Park in Boston, which literally was the real Fenway Park back in 1800s. But however, back to the story. So it was a softball game, and one of my dad's friends called me. I'm out of my name. I think I was about 9 years old all the time. And my dad said, his name is, don't you ever call my name again. And my dad's friend said it again. And my dad said clearly, don't say that again. You call him by his name. And the person chose to do it again. My dad wrecked the guy. And then my dad taught me two things he taught me. One, he protected my honor as his son. Two, later on, he showed me the point. He told me why he did it. He says, because he didn't respect who you were, he could not be my friend. Now, I don't condone the violence, but dad did what he had to do. He showed me what he was to me, what I was to him, excuse me, you know. So in that point, that was a positive elevation for me. But there's so many things that happen, and then the heinous ones is sexual abuse. Those are the ones that are so harmful. Rape and all that stuff that happens to children. We can't even pretty it up. Children are being harmed like that all over this world. And it doesn't matter the race. They're being harmed. Now, that child who's being harmed, who does not get help, as I illustrated earlier, they can be an adult, 70 years old. But guess what? They'll be a grown woman or man, high age, but yet that little person in them still harmed and hurt. They want to come out and play. They want to be free. They want somebody to tell them it's safe to come out. You have to tell that inner child it's safe to come out now. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to bring healing to you. I'm here to let you know it's okay because I'm the adult. I'm getting help for myself. That little child and the adult child wants to know that you care enough to let them know that they can come out and play. They can be free, liberated. So I'm going to read this quick letter for you and I hope you. So as I stated, this story I'm going to read is called The Inner Child in Me. I Want You to Be Free. And so at this time, what I'm asking you to do, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Share, subscribe, and thumbs up. Please do that. It'd be so good, and it's good for the channel too. All right? So now let's get into the story. So here's the story right here. To the inner child whom I love and adore, as the adult outside speaking to the wounded and hurt child inside, today I'm committed for us to heal in every area we were harmed, emotionally, sexually, mentally, physically, verbally, plus abandonment, and every other extremely harmful thing that has happened to us from birth to where we are now. Inner child, if you would trust me and allow us to work together, I do believe with God's help and healing hand and sound counseling, we can merge together as an adult. Inner child, this will be difficult to revisit and deal with unpleasant circumstances and sometimes wicked and heinous situations that happen to us in our life. But if you will also trust and forgive me and a child for the self-hate and very destructive lifestyle I put us through and unintentionally harm others we love, I do believe we can start healing and achieve this dream of liberation for these emotional traumatic scars of life. Let that sink in. If you're a person who has had trauma in your life when you was a child, when you read that right now, I want you to sit back as the adult and say to the inner girl, the inner boy, it wasn't your fault. We didn't deserve this. A couple of things I want to say. One, we just said it. It wasn't your fault. Two, God had nothing to do with this. It's wicked men and women in the world who they did what they did to us. So understand, today's your day of healing. What do you choose? It will not be easy. It will be very liberating for us. It will be so great in the long end. You'll look back and say, wow, this was good. And as the letter states, to go back and revisit this with a good counselor, somebody who's trained in this profession. If you have a pastor or somebody who's trained in this profession to deal with the traumatic things in life, it's good. But you need a team. You need a network. You need somebody who's well-versed in these areas. You have a right to healing. You have a right to be whole. You, the adult, have a right to shake hands with the adult and say, let's grow up together. So in the description, I will have some resources, couple books I will suggest. And one is Dr. Joy Degruy. Hope I said the name correctly. Her book is called The Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, which talks about all the traumatic things that happened to the African Black diaspora from when we was trapped in Africa, traveled through the on land until we got to the castle, stayed in the castle 3 to 4 months till the ship came in. Then we went through the point of no return in the ship. And from that point, well, from the being captured to all down, traumatic. If you ever really want to do history of who you are, go before slavery. We were a great and mighty people. We were very civil. We had structure. We had our own governments. We started math. We started architecture. We started all these sciences. It was stolen from us. We are the ones who started all this information. But I digress. Let's go back to the healing part. The books. The second book is Healing the Wounded Heart by Dr. Dan Allender. This book is specifically for sexual trauma. The book is phenomenal. Both of them are phenomenal. But I enjoy both of them. But Dr. Degruy, because it's more to my culture, my community, I relate to that more. But Dan Allender, his book, I relate to because of sexual abuse. So we do have a chance. We have a purpose. We have a right to be healed. We have a destiny for greatness. So again, in the description, I will have all that information for you, and I'll put some YouTube links for Dr. Degruy. You can click on it and just learn who she is and watch some of her lectures. I'm also going to have a survey in there. If you would be so kind, this survey, I believe, is like 8 questions. It's all anonymous. Don't need your email, don't need nothing. Just click the form, it comes up. You just answer the best you can. Understand clearly. If you answer any of the questions and you feel a certain way, stop, pause, stop it. Because those are called triggers. We're not getting deep questions, but you heard me now, you read the letter, you might be feeling something right now. That little boy and girl side of you saying, I want to be free too. Can I come out and play too? Like that person there. You, the adult, owe it to the little person inside you, let them out and come and play and be whole again. So from Black Conscious Nation, I bid you well, peace and Black love. Be strong, Black Nation, for we are a great and mighty people. Be well. Don't forget to click, subscribe, and share, and click the notification bell so whenever I come out with more content, you will be notified when I come out with it. Be well.